if I think about it, I'm looking at just this section right here, so in a certain amount of time, the only particles that could possibly hit it are those that would be close enough to hit it within that amount of time. I mean, it could have a particle here heading straight towards it, but if my time is a nanosecond, probably not gonna get there in time. So what I care about is the number of particles. So this is for a single particle, one particle. And then for all particles hitting it, it's going to be equal to the number that actually collide with it times 2mvx. So we just have to figure out how many particles are actually going to collide with it.
Oh, he's done.
All right, so well, we've got the group here, so there's a certain amount traveling at some speed vx times t. I'm just going to drop my delta. So anything that's has the speed of the x component of its velocity within the right range times time, those will actually hit it. So the number of particles that actually would collide, well, it'd be whatever fraction of particles is in there. I am assuming the particles are evenly distributed throughout. So it's going to be n times the volume, we'll call it the red volume, over the total volume. Red, you guys like use red. So that's n times, well, if this here is area A, the volume of that section there is Vxt times A. And the entire volume is A times L.
One question, is the red you drew just that one single plane, or is it everything behind that to the right?
It's everything that's within that chunk of cube.
But we're measuring what goes inside that, or just crosses that plane where you drew the red line?
The only I'm saying that the only particles that could possibly even hit that wall are the ones that are at, when time is equal to 0, that are within that region.
Yeah. But we're measuring what can cross that plane, not just not just like be in that box that you drew.
The particles that cross into the plane after time is equal to 0 are not going to hit the wall.
Okay,
They're not going.
we're aiming for the very far side of the box itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the very right side.
Okay.
Actually, I am going to, instead of AL there, I'm just going to keep V like that. So we have this N over V, which is known as the particle density, times Vxt is the number of particles that could possibly collide. It's this particle density. Can I keep it as N over V? Yes, I do. There's one other factor. I said any particle that has that x component, the x component of its velocity is within a certain amount. But if this thing is completely random, half the particles are heading towards that wall and half are heading away. So just thinking through it, the number of collisions, the number of particles that will actually collide is going to be half that. So therefore, the total impulse on the wall is going to be the particle density times how that magical Vx T A 2m Vx times a half, so that 2 goes away. No, we'll keep it in there times a half.
Is that half just a thing?
That's just.
It's a thought through thing that half the particle, randomly, half of them going this way, half are going that way.
But it's just part of the equation that's,
Yeah,
it's just a thing.
it's just a thing.
That's one.
We're gonna do another just a thing well, probably on Monday, Tuesday. I'm doing it on Monday, so if you're missing, it's up to you.
I'll show up on Friday. Don't worry.
I'll camp out. Like I'm getting tickets.
No one does that.
The thermodynamics.
Pardon?
Thermodynamics.
Just-
See,
Anyway.
Dr. Fox's office today.
From the very best of Alphabet Soup. Have a wonderful weekend. I have not finished this. Leave it as a cliffhanger. Make you just be anxious all weekend long until you come back on Tuesday and find out how it is.
I can't wait to find out what happens next in the next episode of physics.
What we're actually heading towards is relating the temperature to the average kinetic energy of particles.
Would you say an ideal way for studying for these last two big tests is to go through the quizzes as well as the master sets?
And old tests.
Are the old?
All right, for what you're gonna do on Wednesday, yes, do that stuff.
Quizzes and master sets.
I would put old tests and master sets.
Is it old tests and master sets?
For the one thing on Thursday, that's conceptual, getting the right frame of mind, it's basically chapters 1 through 6.
1 through 6.
It's the stuff from the first two tests. And that's to me, it's a mindset.
So,
Be thinking physics.
no smoke gets hot that day.
And if you remember any of the problems from the multiple choice test, feel free to talk to each other about it, not during the test, but
Yeah, I remember this one.